Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the webinar, Connecting Up Technology Donations Program Overview. My name is Sakina Bora and I'm the Volunteer Events and Marketing Officer here at Connecting Up. With me today I have Ryan Jones, who is the Marketing Coordinator, and he will be taking you through the program and products we have available and how it can hopefully meet your needs. Just want to go through some housekeeping notes. To those who are new, please feel free to type in your questions in the question box. We will try and make sure to answer all the questions during or at the end of the presentation. If you're facing any technical issues, like if you're having audio issues or unable to see the slides, please type in those as well. We will get it sorted out for you. This presentation is being recorded, and so everyone present will receive an email with a link to the recording and the slides by end of day today. So without further ado, I'll pass it on to Ryan.
Thanks, Akina. Thanks, everyone, for joining us today. This webinar is all about the Donations and Discounts program, but one of the biggest things about this webinar is to make sure that we can answer any questions that you might have about how the program works, what the products do, or anything else related to the program. So at any point during the webinar, feel free to ask any questions, and I'll be stopping at the end of every slide just to answer any questions that might have popped up. So I encourage you to make use of this time to get any burning questions that you've got about the program answered. So, just for those of you who may be new to the program or have just taken over from someone, I just want to give a quick overview on who Connecting Up actually are. So we are a 32-year-old not-for-profit that's based in Adelaide. We've just moved actually. We're now based just off Lee Street in the CBD. We run similar programs to the Technology Donations and Discounts program in New Zealand under the TechSoup New Zealand name, and through Asia under the TechSoup Asia name. And obviously our donation and discount program used to be called Donatech. We deliver all of the technology programs in partnership with TechSoup Global, who is a non-profit that has partners in close to 40 countries delivering similar programs. But in addition to the Technology Donations program, we also run other programs which include obviously our events and webinars programs, our annual conference, our recently launched membership program, a range of learning resources and content to help you with technology, and our online directories of not-for-profits and community organisations. So we do a lot basically, and it's all designed to help you with what you're doing and help you with your technology. So in terms of the Technology Donations program, what is it? What is it actually all about? The core premise of the program is to make technology accessible for not-for-profit organisations. And this is done through offering donated computer software and hardware and discounted computers, software and hardware. This way you can spend your money on service delivery instead of IT equipment. So we partner with a range of large IT companies from all over the world who are either able to hopefully donate their products and in some cases discount. So in terms of the Technology Donations program, this is where the program started back in 2007, and technology companies such as Microsoft, Symantec, Adobe, they all donate their products to Australian not-for-profit organisations. Each donor partner offers a generous amount of software per organisation, and in some cases we can assist you with any extra that you may need. And I'll just quickly go through some of the partners that we've got here. So our biggest partner is obviously Microsoft, and Microsoft offer a huge range of their most popular products. Then we have Adobe, who are a relatively recent addition to the program, who are donating their industry standard graphic and web design software. Symantec are donating their Antivirus range, which includes their Norton desktop range and their enterprise solutions. SAP donate their reporting and visual analysis tools. Bytes of Learning donate their UltraKey typing tutor. Fundraising software is now available from Tolosa. Budgeting and cash flow software is donated by Calxa, who are actually an Australian business based up in Townsville. We have networking and wireless equipment from Cisco. Computer tune-up software from O&O Software, and cloud-powered remote desktop software from NetLeverage, another Australian company. So this is all the latest brand new software and hardware delivered direct from the donating business to you. We receive no funding for the program. We keep the entire program sustainable by charging a small administration fee on each order, which generally equals about 4 to 8% of retail price. In terms of our discount program, this is a relatively new addition to the program in the last couple of years. The most recent addition to the discount program has been MyOb. So MyOb are now discounting their accounting software to Australian not-for-profits, and they're offering an extra discount until the end of November. We've also offered discounted refurbished computers, antivirus from Kaspersky, Sophos, and our new partner WebRoot, web-based social media management from HootSuite, cloud-powered remote desktop software from NetLeverage, web-based event management software from My Booking Manager, a complete range of software from Adobe and Microsoft. So there's a little bit more product that's available through the discount program that isn't available through the donations program. Networking equipment from D-Link, and again fundraising management software from Telosa for organisations that aren't eligible for their donations program. So we go through all of that, and that's great, but what do you actually need? Well, I've put together a quick list of some of the most popular products available through the program and what most organisations need and some of the basics. And so I'll just go through them, and if you've got any questions, then let us know. So Office 2013 is pretty obviously a staple of most organisations. Office 2013 is the latest version. It is very much an evolution of Office 2010, being more refined, more stable, and works a bit smarter than the older versions. Office includes Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Outlook, which, as I said, they're almost staples of every organisation these days, as well as Publisher, which is a great program for producing newsletters, posters, other forms of desktop publishing. Office 2013 has also introduced some new features to work on documents and review them as a team, which is really handy when you're in a collaborative workplace. And the most important one, I think, is that you can now create and edit PDFs in Microsoft Office, which is a pretty cool step up. So there are two different versions of Office 2013 that are available through the donations program. We have the standard version and we have Professional Plus. Now for most organisations, standard will include everything that they need. So Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, Publisher, OneNote, which is an online note-taking tool, and SkyDrive Pro, which is a version of SkyDrive that can store your files on your existing server. In terms of the Professional Plus version, that includes all of those products, plus Access, which is for databases, InfoPath, Link, and Business Contact Manager for Outlook. If you're not using any of those four at the moment, then you can probably get away with using the standard version. If you're using a Mac, Office 2011 for Mac is the latest Mac version, and that's also available through the donations program. And I should also mention that if you are looking at or considering Office 365, that does integrate with Office 2013 to give you a desktop client.
So we have a question here. Is Office 365 available?
Not at the moment, but they are looking at launching that in different countries. It's available in some countries, but not in Australia at the moment. Okay. So Windows 8.1 is the new version of Microsoft Windows. It's been out for a couple of weeks now. It's very similar to Windows 8 in a lot of ways. It does feature some significant improvements over Windows 8, and Microsoft have really listened to what their customers have been telling them and made some pretty handy improvements over Windows 8. But Windows 8.1 we've also found, just like Windows 8, is faster and more reliable than previous versions of Windows, as well as being more secure. But the one point I really want to get across in this webinar about Windows is that support is ending for Windows XP. Microsoft has said there will be no more security patches or updates for Windows XP after April 2014. So if you're using Windows XP, you still have about 6 months to plan an upgrade path, but we'd highly recommend that you take that time to upgrade to a later version of Windows, probably Windows 7 or Windows 8, before those security patches stop coming. Antivirus. I know we get a lot of people go to the website and look at our range of antivirus and get a bit of information overload. The basics here are that Symantec donate their desktop and enterprise solutions. So for a desktop solution from Symantec, you get Norton 360. There's also Norton Antivirus for Mac and Norton Internet Security and products like that. Now these are really good for small organizations, maybe organizations that have 5 to 10 computers, because they basically install on an individual computer. They're all controlled on an individual basis. When you step up from that, Symantec's enterprise range includes Symantec Endpoint Protection, and some of their endpoint protection solutions are really designed for larger organizations, and they include some great tools to make it easier to manage an antivirus when you're trying to install it on 20, 30, 50 computers. The other good thing about Symantec's enterprise range is Backup Exec. That's their popular backup and restore solution, which is really good for keeping data safe, especially on servers. WebRoot is a relatively recent addition to our program. They are discounting their Secure Anywhere business solution to not-for-profits. It's really designed for any size organization. It scales extremely efficiently. It's got a tiny installation and it's pretty low maintenance, which makes it perfect to install on one computer. But at the same time, it's got some cool tools in it to, again, control large deployments of, I've heard of 500 to 1,000 endpoints all over Australia protected. Kaspersky have been a partner for a couple of years now, and Kaspersky discount quite a large range of security solutions, not just antivirus. Kaspersky again is mainly designed for larger organizations. You need to order a minimum of 10 licenses, which gives you an idea of who these products are designed for. But again, some of the features that they include are not just centered around antivirus, but they're designed to make IT managers' jobs easier. They're designed to make it easier to control a deployment across 50 or 100 computers, and they also include some really good tools for mobile device management. So that is securing your phones, securing your networks, and being able to do remote wipe on mobile phones if they get stolen. And we also, Sophos have been a long-time supporter of the program, and again, that's designed for larger organizations. So MyOb are, as I said, a recent addition to the program. If you are looking at MyOb, make sure that you get on that quite quickly, because that introductory offer does run out at the end of November. So they're offering an unprecedented discount on their range of accounting software. To give you a bit of an idea of what the range is actually all about, AccountRight is their standard accounting package, which is available in different tiers depending on whether you need payroll, stock handling, or other more advanced features. Then you can step up to AccountRight Live, which is a cloud hybrid version of AccountRight. So you get the standard version of AccountRight basically, with the benefits of cloud integration and online access to your financial records. The good thing about this though is that it incorporates bank feeds, which is a very handy feature. You can import all of your bank records instantly into AccountRight Live without having to double handle. And nobody likes to double handle their financials. Account Edge is again very similar to AccountRight and AccountRight Live in terms of the different tiers, but Account Edge is designed from the ground up for Macs. So if you're running a Mac, then Account Edge offers you control via iPhones and iPads and a range of different mobile apps, which is really handy. They also offer a discount on live accounts, which is their cloud-based accounting solution. And one other important thing to note is that MyOb also integrates with Calxa Premier, which is a cash flow management and budgeting program that Calxa donate to eligible organisations. So if you are after an easier way to do your budgeting and an easier way to provide visual cash flow reports, then MyOb and Calxa together work really well. Lots of people always ask about fundraising. Everybody is doing a lot of fundraising. Everybody needs to be able to track their donors and try and get raise the most funds that they possibly can. There's two key solutions available through our program. One of them is Tolosa Exceed, which has just come back into the program. It's a great program for fundraising and donor management. It's designed specifically for not-for-profits and can be used to track donors, donations, find out who is donating, who is not donating, how often people are donating, everything like that. It also includes some really good reporting and email features. If you're a larger organization, you might want to look at Microsoft Dynamics. It's a CRM, or a customer relationship management system, but it can be customized to do pretty much whatever you need where you need to track things. So in this particular case, you can develop it into a solution to track donors. There is a slightly higher learning curve because you have to customize it yourself, but there are templates to set up Dynamics to a donor model instantly, and there are a number of IT providers out there who can do this setup for you. Microsoft Project is a popular solution for managing the implementation of grants activities. So once you get a grant, you always have to report on it and you always have to be able to track your progress. Microsoft Project includes the ability to manage tasks and programs, so you can keep a track of milestones and other project management requirements. This makes the whole thing a lot easier when it comes to reporting time. Now, we have a lot of organisations that can't use any software because they need new computers and they're holding on to computers that are falling apart. We've partnered with a number of Microsoft authorized refurbished computer suppliers who provide discount refurbished computers for not-for-profits. When they're refurbished, they're all reinstalled with Windows 7 Professional and Microsoft Office 2010 Home and Business. So they're ready to go out of the box for a lot of organizations. And if you need any other additional software for them, then you can just order that through the donations program. There's a range of PCs, Macs, laptops and desktops. And like I said, they're donated to suit not-for-profit organizations, so they're really, really cheap. So if you are after new computers and you're holding off because they're too expensive, check out the Refurbished Computers range and you may be able to pick some new ones up for just $200. Now I get a lot of emails about the best option to create and edit PDFs. And until recently, that was always Adobe Acrobat. Adobe Acrobat Professional, Adobe designed and developed the PDF standard, and Adobe Acrobat has really been the best program to do that for forever. And it is available through the donations program. It's out of stock at the moment, but when it comes back in, snap up a copy because they disappear very quickly. But now that Microsoft Office has those features built in, if you only want to do basic edits to PDFs, Office Professional or Office Standard is a great solution to do that because you're not buying a single-use program, you're buying a program that can do everything. You can do your basic word processing and everything else, but the most important thing is being able to edit and create those PDFs. Now, since the Adobe range joined, Adobe joined our range, we've had a number of questions on graphic design. Adobe are donating 2 specific graphic design programs at the moment. Adobe Photoshop Elements and Premiere Elements come in a bundle, and when Adobe talk about their Elements software, what they're basically talking about is easier to use versions of their professional software. So it's a good place to learn how to start in Photoshop and how to start in Premiere. Photoshop is their graphic software, which a lot of people use to design all kinds of amazing pictures, produce content, images for websites, basic photo editing. And Premiere is their video editing software, which can do just about anything. So that's a good way to start with the Adobe range and get to grips with it. And then you can move up to something like Adobe Creative Suite 6 Design and Web Premium. And Design and Web Premium has all the tools that you need to do web and graphic design, basically. Everything from Photoshop and Illustrator to InDesign and Dreamweaver. The other good thing that's just been added to our Adobe range in the discount side is Creative Cloud for Teams, which is a newer version again of Adobe's Creative Suite, which is now switched entirely to cloud-based. Everything is delivered online. You get more frequent product updates, but Creative Cloud for Teams also includes some great functionality in terms of IT managers being able to control licensing, stay on top of things. And I've been using it for a few months, and having access to almost every creative tool in Adobe's toolkit when you need it is a very handy feature to have. Okay, in terms of networking, any organisation these days with more than one computer really needs some form of network. Cisco are donating a huge range of their enterprise grades networking gear, whether that be a giant 48-port switch like you can see there, or wireless access points, or all kinds of wireless cards and things in between. The Cisco products are really designed for a rock-solid backbone to your network. So we're using all Cisco gear here, and it's been very reliable, even with our move last week. The other range that we have now for people who aren't able to request Cisco donations is D-Link. And the good thing with the D-Link range is it addresses some product ranges that Cisco don't offer. So a couple of the really popular things in the D-Link range have been their network surveillance equipment. So if you need surveillance cameras, whether you need security cameras for outside of your premises, that's all available through D-Link. We've also got a range of network storage devices, like the one you can see in the middle there on the slide. You can have multiple drives set up for redundancy, and you can back up large amounts of data on your network. D-Link also provide the standard collection of network switches and wireless networking switches, or wireless networking access points. So if you're not eligible for Cisco, then D-Link is a great alternative. If you want a bit more information about what is what in a network and where a switch is and what an access point is, then there is a webinar on our YouTube channel that we did last year, I think, on what a network is and what everything means and what everything does. So I encourage you to have a quick look at that when you get a chance. And the last product I want to talk about briefly is HootSuite. So if you're managing social media, especially if your organisation has a Facebook page, a Twitter page, a YouTube channel, LinkedIn, you have all these different profiles, HootSuite is really good because it allows you to control all of them in one place. It also allows you to work on controlling them all as a team. You can see who's responded to what. You can allocate posts to be responded to by different people. It allows you to track your effectiveness and allows you to report on analytics, which is really useful because it allows you to tell whether what you're doing is working and allows you to tailor your solution appropriately. You can also schedule and delay posts for optimum results.
So we have a question, I think that's based on your last slide on network. Are there any servers available?
In terms of server hardware, yes, there is. We are able to get it from time to time through the Refurbished Computer program, and there are server licenses available through the donations program as well. If you are after a server specifically, I suggest you contact us direct and we can have a look into that. But it's not something that we usually list as part of the whole range. So, I've had a few questions in the last couple of days and I thought I would put some new slides in this presentation about how often and how much you can order, because we get quite a few questions about that. So, you've had a look through all the products, you've decided that there are a couple there that you want. So how often can you actually order? Well, the short answer is as often as you like. The long answer is it depends specifically on each partner. And you can order with Connecting Up as often as you like, but with each partner there are specific guidelines. In the case of our discount partners, in general, the answer is as often as you like. In the case of our donations partners, Microsoft and Symantec are now as often as you like, as long as you haven't used your maximum license allocation, which I'll go through in a minute. Adobe is once per financial year, and you'll generally find that most of the partners are as long as you like, as long as you haven't used your maximum allocation, or they're once per financial year. But we've got so many different partners, what I thought would be the easiest solution is if you do have specific questions, you can contact me after the webinar. I can answer the question now, or you can speak to our customer support team and they will be able to help you with that. In terms of how much you can order, again, the short answer is it depends on which partner you're ordering from. So in general, as with discount partners, it's as much as you need. With Microsoft in particular through the donations program, it's a bit more complicated. It's up to 10 different titles and up to 50 licenses of each. So an example of a title might be Office 2013 Standard. You can order up to 50 licenses of Office 2013. In a case where you needed to order Office 2013 Standard and Professional, you could order up to 50 licenses of a combination. So 25 copies of Standard and 25 copies of Professional, for example. There are some slightly different rules around server licenses. So up to 5 server licenses, regardless of title group. And when you start ordering servers, it does become a little bit more complicated, but Microsoft and TechSoup have got together and they've put together this great Microsoft Donation Center, which is on the website. You will get these slides after the webinar, but that URL is really important. connectingup.org/donations/Microsoft_donation_center, spelled with an ER on the end. That center will tell you very quickly what title groups that you've ordered from already, what servers you've ordered, and how much more you can order in a 2-year period. The other cool thing that it will show you that does surprise a few people is it will show the retail value of the software that your organization has received, which can sometimes be rather shocking, but it just shows just how much has been donated to your organization. So that's all great, but I still don't know what I need. Can you help? Well, we try to help in a number of ways. We help by putting a range of content on the website to help you determine what you might need. The problem with us providing direct advice sometimes is that we don't know your exact circumstances, and we definitely don't want to provide the wrong advice. But what we have just done is launched a membership program a couple of months ago, and that membership program, one of the biggest benefits in this circumstance is a 1-hour one-on-one mentoring session with somebody who can help you with whatever aspect of your technology you need help with. we'll go away and we'll get some answers from you, and we'll put together a solution that will suit your organisation. We'll be able to provide you with advice on whatever you're looking at doing. In addition to that, you also get a 20% discount to all of our events and webinars. You get a $50 discount to our yearly conference. There's a member-only newsletter that the first edition is coming out in the next couple of weeks, and some exclusive member-only competitions. And so there is a slight cost involved in that. It's $150 per year, but if you go to a couple of events, that pays for itself very quickly. So that was the end of the product overview that I've got so far. If you've got any questions, start firing them through, and I will sit here as long as we have questions to answer.
Thank you, Ryan. At this point, I would encourage everybody to type in your questions regarding the programs Ryan just described.
No questions today. Okay, well, if you have any questions after the webinar, then Christine will send out my email address. It's rj@connectingup.org. Feel free to send me any questions you might have direct, and we'll be happy to answer any questions you might have.
So we have a question. Are all products available in New Zealand?
Are all products available in New Zealand? No, definitely not. We have different partners in different countries, and the range this time was the donations and discounts program in Australia. The New Zealand range varies slightly. We did have a webinar on the New Zealand range this morning, which will be going up on YouTube this afternoon. So I would encourage you to have a look at that and just see some of the differences.
What format is the software delivered?
These days, pretty much all of the software is delivered digitally. We've actually found that that's most convenient for a lot of organisations, plus it's a little less harmful on the environment. So you get a URL and you can go onto a website and you can download the images and install the software. The other good thing that I haven't mentioned so far is that all of the Microsoft donations include software assurance. And so what that does is it gives you a volume license, and once you have a volume license, you can go onto the Microsoft website and download new versions of any software for up to 2 years from your donation. And it also gives you some added flexibility in terms of how you can use your licenses. It actually reminds me of another question I had this morning, which you might think about after. We quite often get asked about what is the impact of volunteers using software donated on their own computers. And that is quite okay for that to happen, but the rule is that the software is owned by your organisation, and when that person stops volunteering for your organisation, it's expected that they will remove the software and you're able to redeploy it on another computer. So there's no problem with staff or volunteers using this software themselves for organisational purposes, and then when they leave the organisation they can just return the software.
Well, I think that was our last question. Thank you, Ryan. If you have any specific questions on the program and products, please feel free to email Ryan. Ryan will be happy to help you. If you're interested in attending any of our upcoming webinars, we have a range of things happening on our website. Please go to connectingup.org/events. And finally, you will be receiving an email shortly with a link to the recording and the slides. Thank you once again, and see you all on our next webinar.